PlayStation Drive is starting. While you wait, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon on YouTube to be notified of future goodness. If you enjoy our show, we'd love it if you gave us a 5-star review or rating on your podcast service of choice. To continue the conversation, join the Carpool Gaming Discord, where you can find a wholesome community to have a chit-chat with. For some exclusive content, you can also support us on Patreon. And finally, don't forget to check out the Carpool Gaming website for an awesome range of merch. Links to all that and more are in the show notes, but without further ado, let's get revved up for the PlayStation Drive. Whoa!
What's up, everybody? Welcome on in. This is the PlayStation Drive episode 167. I am one of your hosts, Ryan, joined as always by Fuya, Matt, and Ron. How's everyone doing on this lovely
Hello.
Sunday evening or Monday morning in Fuya's case?
Doing good.
Welcome back, by the way, Ryan.
Thank you.
We're back.
Yeah.
Or is back.
I know. I finally came back to the show. It's been a long time. It's been, of course, I've been gone for so long that Kiku just assumed I'd been kicked off the show. She mentioned that when I was in chat last week. I'm like, no.
Wow.
Nope.
No.
I forgot she said that.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Y'all are stuck with me once again. I'm back. I'm here with my little buddy Astrobot, and we're gonna have a
Aww. Love it.
yes, we're gonna have fun tonight. I'm very, very excited to get into the world of PlayStation. So let's not wait any longer. Let's get into it, but mainly because we got a long show tonight, folks. So please strap in. So I hear a little knock on the door. There's a little bit of housekeeping. So of course we got new patrons over at patreon.com/carpoolgaming. So a huge thank you, of course, to Casey Pratt and Hot Gamer Boy Summer for joining at the free tier over on the old Patreon. Thank you to Solo, who upgraded to the platinum tier, of course, the official tier, the PlayStation Drive, because of course you got to get that platinum trophy, Solo. So thank you for upgrading to that platinum tier. And also Toxic, who is driving on in at the gold member tier, the second official tier of the PlayStation Drive, because, you know, we got to get that gold trophy. So huge shout out to all of our patrons over at patreon.com/carpoolgaming, including our new patrons, Casey Pratt, Hot Gamer Boy Summer, Solo, and Toxic. And look at that, Toxic's here in the chat. Shout out to Toxic.
Hey, Toxic.
Yeah. Of course, related to Patreon as well, Seth's Pants episode went up this week. By the way, I was last week as well, so if people missed me, you can go and listen to my Pants episode from last week. And Bowser is going to be up next. Her post will drop tomorrow morning, so make sure to check that out over there if you got questions for Bowser. And the next episode of Real is out with a certain someone on this panel, right, Matt?
It was a really good episode with Sean Capri. You know, we got in deep. We did a lot of reflecting. I did a lot of reflecting after the show. I did my own post show after by myself in my head, and I did a lot of reflecting. And you know, this might come as a surprise, but you know, after talking to Sean Capri about, you know, dialing in terms of who I want to be as a content creator, somehow it spiraled into who I want to be as a gamer. And then it spiraled into, you know, what kind of games do I want to play? What games do I really like? And I'm not exaggerating. It did lead me on a path that eventually led me to selling my Xbox, just like Toxic in the chat, who also sold his Xbox. I'm not sure what his reason. Oh, no, I know what his reasons were. We'll get into it later. He wanted that extra money for the PS5 Pro. For me, friends, I just realized that gaming subscription services just don't work for me. I canceled NSO a few years ago, canceled my PS Plus Extra because I didn't use it for a single year. This whole year, I didn't play one single game. And then I looked at my Game Pass and I was like, I don't really play stuff. So you know what? I sold it, got rid of it. I'm just dialing in on what I really like, which is Nintendo and, of course, PlayStation. So thank you, Sean Capri. You helped me realize what kind of gamer I want to be.
Aw, that's nice. I mean, I'm going to show Toxic again for the video because Toxic's icon is an Xbox icon. And Toxic no longer has an Xbox. I just wanted to point that out there. For no reason at all, of course. No reason.
Riley King of the chat also sold his Xbox.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that.
Everyone's selling their Xbox, of course.
See, Bowser, I didn't have anything to do with this because I still have mine.
I
Just
mean,
saying.
believe it or not, I the other day, on my own stream, my Marvel vs. Capcom stream, Sean called me a traitor because I haven't logged into my Xbox for so long. But you know what? I still have my Xbox.
Yeah.
It's still hooked up.
Mine's a bit neglected, but it's still around.
I was gonna say I played a game on Xbox this week that I'll talk about. So
see, so you're not a traitor.
I mean, to be fair, I've pretty much flopped to a PlayStation person. I mean, actually, no, I'm not really a traitor, Ron, because I've always been a PlayStation person. I always said this on Xbox Drive, where I always mostly played my games on PlayStation. I just happened to really enjoy Microsoft first-party games, so that's why I kind of fit on the Xbox Drive. But, anyways, that's enough about that. We also got to say thank you, of course, to our 5+ gift subscribers over on Twitch, because it is September. Of course, you may notice we are currently live on Twitch as well. And of course, subscriptions are half off in the month of September. And we want to shout out, of course, all of our 5+ gift subscribers, including BobLoblaw, currently at the top of the leaderboard with 10 gift subscriptions. Tim Paullin with 5, Tony Baker with 5, Jan32 with 5, Rizzle2929 with 5, and Mitchell Power, aka Mitch Power, with 5 as well. Look at that. Look at that. Toxic chiming in. I changed my profile picture on YouTube. Lol. I've been meaning to change it from my Xbox icon. I mean, you didn't have to, Toxic, but, shout out to you, by the way, Toxic.
Right.
We love
you
it.
changed it to a control character, which is a great game. So
it's a good game. It's a good game. Well, speaking of good games, Ron, we should probably just grab our 8 tracks, pop them in. It's time for the playlist. Time to talk about the games we played this week, starting off, as always, with Ron. What'd you play, man?
that was a nice little segue you did there, Ryan. You ain't missed a beat since you've been gone. Nice.
Not just a hat rack, my friend. Okay, my hat's not just used to hold my hat. Okay. By the way, I'm wearing a Sonic hat, of course, for those that wondering at home. Because you got to go fast.
You gotta go fast. So, still progressing with Trails Through Daybreak. Haven't made too much progression on that, but it got played. The biggest thing was I made 2 chapters extra on Space Marine 1. Still having a blast with that. Great game. So underrated. I wish I had played it when it first came out, but I got to it now. That's what matters. It's just fantastic. I platted Frog Detective. That was just a silly, fun game. It's nice and you could just simple gameplay. There's no crazy puzzles or anything like that. You just play it, and that was just really just a good game. It was wacky as hell, but the frog is great, and just every character you run into, somebody is crazy, and it's just a great game to have a good time with. Oh, yes, Koala.
May I ask, did somebody croak in that game?
Oh my
gosh.
That was a Ryan to leave already.
Yeah. That was good for you.
I'm
cannot
back for
believe
10 minutes, and this is what we have to deal with. I mean,
I don't do this all the time. Keep that in mind.
Oh, I know. In fact, Fulia, before we go back to Ron, I forgot that I wanted to give you props, by the way, for holding the show together in my absence, for doing an amazing job hosting. And yes, you didn't pull out too many puns like this, so I will excuse this behavior this one time. I feel it's okay to let this one slide by.
Nobody croaked Koala. Oh my God.
She had to. She just
But
had
there
to.
are 2 koalas in the game.
Yeah.
That surprised me. One wants to be a cowboy. So you better not let CowboyDangerD find out.
No, we need to talk to that koala. No.
I was going to take a picture and send it to him, but I was like, no, let me not do that to her.
I don't need that.
But yeah, so that was a fun game, man. I mean, like I said, it's just it's not much to it, but it's just a fun, wacky game. So that was cool. So that's platinum number 15 for the year and number 82.
Here's your what's good. Here's your crown.
Thank you.
Putting
Thank
on
you.
Sorry,
your head, the platinum.
Can
king.
you tell me that number again? How many this year?
15.
Double digits.
Yeah, I'm definitely not.
World
catching up.
Bareness.
No, again, Ron's kept the title for a while now.
You still got time. Daybreak is not done yet.
Excuse me, I'm gonna be leaving for the US in like 5 weeks.
There are going to be several
not gonna have
PlayStations
time.
available. There's going to be several PlayStations available. You can plat while you're on your trip.
I have an idea. Ron, my copy of Hannah Montana the movie on the PlayStation 3 is coming in the mail. I can bring it to Extra Life, and then everyone here can platinum it, and we can each platinum the game together because it only takes about an hour to platinum it, and we'll have 24 hours, Ron. We have 24 hours. We can platinum Hannah Montana the movie, the game, 4 times in
What? That means we have to log in and log out every time.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, thank you, Matt. Do we want to do that?
Do we want to though?
I mean, why not?
Question.
It's a free platinum. It's a free platinum. We'll all catch up, Ron.
No, I'm not going to have that on my list. No, thank you.
Yeah, even I, who have My Name is Mayo, I don't think I want that one.
Fine.
Even I don't want that one.
I will find other games to bring for Ryan Tifford's Tower of Terror. I won't bring that.
Oh my god!
There's more time for Pepsi Man. Then it's fine.
Yes,
that's
Pepsi Man.
On
Is that a
second
hard
thought,
plat? Oh, actually, no, there would be
maybe-
platinum trophies for that.
maybe we should check out Hannah Montana,
I
Ryan.
don't know, man. Between that and Pepsi Man, I don't think you can win on either one of those.
Please, we
I
all
lose
win
no
with
matter
Pepsi
what.
Man. We all win, Ron. Okay. Well, speaking of winning, Matt, what'd you play this week, man? What'd you win in, son?
I'm still playing Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Future Redeemed. It's almost 20 hours. It's a big one. But I want to share that I too have doubled the amount of platinums I got this year. That's right.
Oh.
I went from 1 to 2 platinums. That's right, friends. I now
wrong
have
with
2
that.
platinum trophies in 2024. I platinumed Crow Country, which is the latest Backtrackers game for Carpool Gaming. We're meeting up next Saturday at 11 a.m. if everybody wants to check it out. It's an indie survival horror game. Like, it is truly a love letter to Resident Evil games, like with the item inventory management, the way you're healing yourself, the survival horror aspects. It's phenomenal. Now, the only thing that I can say is I personally found the puzzles a little too obtuse, because I used a guide to get the platinum, to get the S rank, and even with the answers, I'm looking at the solutions and I'm like, these don't make sense. And this is me cheating. I can't even imagine what it would be like if I didn't have a guide, how I would possibly have solved these things. So I'm a little tempted to go back and just play without a guide to see what it'd be like, but I don't know if I have enough time. But other than that, really, really enjoyed it. Like, Ryan, have you played Crow Country?
No, I've not played that game.
It's around 4 or 5 hours, and it's around 27. So I would wait for a deep sale, but knowing how much you love Resident Evil, you'll love it. It's very, very charming, very reminiscent. Really, really deep story, like deeper than most Resident Evil games. But it's the graphical styles like the N64 PS1 genre. So I think you would enjoy it quite a bit. It's actually really funny. It's got a lot of good sense of humor. So highly recommend it. But I don't think I can recommend it at full price, just because it is short, unless you want to speed run and use the S rank perks that you get, which is like, I think it's like a rocket launcher. So I don't know. I would wait, but I still recommend it, especially if you like spoopy games. So
Okay.
give it a try,
You have
Ryan.
me intrigued.
Yeah.
You have me intrigued, Matt. You have me intrigued. Especially because, again, I could maybe add that platinum to the list because you and I have the competition for who has the least number of platinums on the panel of this year. Because I also have 2. But of course, I have the 2 most glamorous platinums, though. So maybe I'm ahead in the tiebreakers. Because my 2 are Felix the Cat, the collection, and Plumbers Don't Wear Ties. Those are my 2 platinums this year. So
Those ones are rare.
yeah,
So props
yeah.
to that. I would
mean,
say that.
I might have been one of 10 people who have actually played Plumbers Don't Wear Ties on PlayStation 5. So,
Oh my!
but nice, good. Fulia, how about you? What'd you play?
So I am continuing my playthrough of Astrobots. It keeps going. It's never ending. It's so much fun. I absolutely love it. And it still makes me smile every time I jump into it. But because I'm also on a platinum run for this game, it's also making me rage a little bit. Not because of the main levels itself, but mostly because of the challenge runs that you have to do that surround each galaxy. And those challenge runs are hella difficult sometimes.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm loving Astrobot, regardless of the difficulty that is being caused and the
No, the main
raging
thing is
that's
you're
being
having fun. That's the main thing, right?
I'm still having fun. And every time I finish those challenge runs, especially the ones that have been hard, it makes me feel very, like, I feel like I've achieved something. Yes, Ron?
I just wanted to ask: are you planning on platinum Astrobot?
I just said this is my platinum run. Yes.
Are you sure that you're going to platinum it? You're not going to
Yes,
lose
I am.
focus? You're not going to distract
No,
it?
I am 100% going to 100% this game.
Okay.
She said it right
100%,
here.
100%.
All right. Hey,
right.
I'm
I
going to
am
hold her
going
to
to.
it. I'm
I
gonna hold her
want the
to it.
platinum. Everybody else has been getting the platinum. I'm seeing everybody pop their platinums all over the place in the Discord,
have the
and I'm
platinum
like,
yet.
I'm still working on it.
Okay. All right. Proud of you.
You'll get there.
It's gonna take a while, but I'll get there.
That's right, Antics. Verbal contract right
right.
there.
That's right. Committed relationship. That's right.
Oh, also, Antics is also a member of Team Last of Us Part 1. Just want to put that out there.
One full
Last of Us
experience.
Part One
We're on the
isn't
same
it?
team.
Yeah.
We're on the
I
same
had a
team.
feeling you were
One
gonna
full
mention
experience.
something the moment he popped up.
I was going to say, there's no teams involved, Ron. They're all one experience. That's
No.
Thank you, Riot. One full experience.
There's
We're on
one
the same
game,
team.
and then there's another game that is out there that we pretend that doesn't exist.
What, factions?
One full experience, right?
Well, we can't pretend that one doesn't exist.
We kind of do. Anyways, Fulia, continue.
Anyways, apart from all of the Astrobot I've been playing this past week, I've also played a couple of other games. I played a couple of demos, one of which is Projected Dreams, which is really cute, sort of a puzzle game where you're casting shadows and you have to create shapes in order that sort of fit into a memory in a photo, which is really cool. The game hasn't been released yet, but I do have a video of it on my YouTube channel if anyone wants to have a sneak peek of what to expect from that game. And it's a really cute demo. It's very chill. You find every time you go to another level, it gets a little bit more harder, but it also gives you more toys to play with, to use to cast those shadows with. So it's actually been really fun. So I really like that. It kind of unlocked a childhood memory of mine of, doing shadow puppets when I was a kid and all that sort of stuff. So it's actually been really cute. Yeah, that sort of stuff.
Just like Killer Clowns from Outer Space, the video game, where you can actually murder innocent bystanders by doing shadow puppets of a Tyrannosaurus Rex and then eating them.
Killer Clowns, what a horrible
Same
movie.
thing. Same
Sure.
Great movie, Ron.
Yeah.
Oh, Koala, have you never seen Killer Clowns?
No.
That's a movie. No, that's a movie. We got to watch
sure
it.
it is.
I'm adding it to the list of things to watch at Extra Life.
It's hilariously bad.
Quite
It's-
Yeah, it's not scary. It's very silly.
It's hilariously bad.
Yes.
I don't know that I want to watch it, but anyway, another demo that I checked out that I wasn't really that. I think it sort of bored me a little bit was a demo that's on the PlayStation because I was like,
of course, that would be the one that bored you. Huh.
Well, here's the thing, right? I'm pretty sure you'll be the same too, Ron, when you find out that you are a rookie paramedic in this game called Neo Harbor Rescue Squad. So that is a game that is available on PlayStation right now because I wanted to go through the PlayStation demos list and see what was available. And I saw this one, and every time I came past it, I was like, you know what? I might give this a go. So I tried the demo, and essentially there's a story surrounding it, which kind of brings it down a little bit because the dialogue stops you from playing. There's it's just, and not to mention the fact that it's because you're a paramedic, it's like high pressure, time constraints. So you have to get things done quickly. You're triaging patients at like crash sites or, emergencies of some sort. So you have to be quick on your feet. But you also be really quick on thinking as well. If there's a demo who has played it, yeah, probably.
Yeah,
That's
no
why we
thanks.
don't call her the demo queen for nothing, Riley King.
Multipass.
True.
Yeah.
Multipass. That doesn't sound like
So-
anything I'd be interested in.
I got to a point where because it was trying to get through the tutorial part of the story, I suppose, and it just kept hitting dialogue for story and all that sort of stuff with the characters, and I was like, I want to get more involved with the game. Let me play more of the game. Let me practice more and all that sort of stuff. But it got to a point where I was just like, okay, this is getting really annoying. So I just was like, nah, I can't be bothered with
So
this anymore.
Koala does not like reading, and she does not like tutorials now. Okay.
No. I don't mind. Like, I like tutorials. It's fine. But when the dialogue is hindering on the gameplay, it just, yeah.
Say with conviction, Fulia. We don't like tutorials here.
Yeah,
Just like
no one
Forza
wants to
Horizon
learn
5.
how to play the
That's
game.
right. We don't want tutorials. That's right. Same team, Fulia.
There's
Let's
a
go.
reason why
Thank
the
you.
Far Cry Blood Dragon tutorial makes fun of tutorials and it has Michael being very upset that tutorials exist.
Forget
Matt-
them tutorials. That's
Matt,
right.
I like tutorials.
I'm with you, Fulia.
Okay, I like tutorials. Unlike you, so
You sure?
but
I don't know.
this was just
Sounds like you don't like
was,
this one.
No, this particular game's tutorial was just really annoying. That's all it was. If there was more
know what that's
gameplay
like.
involved, then I could have been able to get through it all, but I just got annoying. So I was just like, nah, I can't be bothered with this anymore. And then the last thing I want to mention is a game that I played for a few hours because I thought this was going to be a short game playthrough. I did also check the trophy list. There was no platinum for it. So I'm like, you know what? I've got it. I might as well play it. And it's a hidden objects game called Wind Peaks. And I played for it for a few hours. And then I got to a point where I was like, this is way too difficult to get through because there's not even any hint system apart from the fact that there is a help me find it button. But that button can glitch out if you need something to unlock the thing that you're looking for. And you can't then use it again to find something else until you find the object that it helped you find. And I was like, I don't know. And I got to a point where the image that you're looking for these objects for got so big that, and it's such a detailed, it's such a detailed area as well that you have to really interact with almost everything to see if you can find it. And I was like, nah, I can't. This is getting too annoying for me to be able to, because you have to zoom in and out to be able to see things because details get small. And I had maybe 2 or 3 things left to find in this one particular map, and I was like, nah. It's not letting me use the help me find button because the other one that I tried looking for that it helped me with is stuck until I find it, but I needed something to unlock it, and it just pissed me off. So I was like, no. Uninstall.
That game sounds like a big chore to me, so I don't
especially
blame you
when,
for uninstalling
the
it.
feature that's supposed to help you does not help you. So
Yeah. I don't mind hidden objects games. They're good fun. I know Tiny Lands is a good example of that. I've been playing that one a little bit here and there whenever I felt bored. And that one's actually really nice and cute, but they're small. There's small areas to find objects in, and you only have to find 5 things. Wind Peaks, every level you complete gets harder and longer and bigger. And there's more objects to find the bigger the map. So I was like, yeah, nah, this is insane. So it really annoyed me that the one hint system that I needed to help me with was not working the way I wanted it to. Yes, Ryan.
So, friend, Koala,
Yes.
I know that you've mentioned several games, and it's been a little while since you've given a God of War update. So, for the PSD fam, please, let us know what's going on with that.
I was waiting for that one from you.
The game that you are in a committed relationship with. Quotations.
Yeah, quotes. That's right, Ryan. That's right, Angel.
She's saving it for last. She's saving the best for last. So,
Is she?
I
what's
mean,
the progress?
I played the
Yes.
God of War level in Astrobot.
That counts.
That doesn't count.
That counts, right?
That doesn't count. Nope. That is not the God of War game.
But it has aspects of it.
It has Kratos in it.
You dress up as Kratos, you use the axe like Kratos, you find the crows like Kratos.
Yes, Kia, exactly. All right, fam. Mark this down on your calendars. She is not going to go back to this game. And if
I am
she is,
going to go back.
She is never going to
I
roll
will
credits
go
on
back.
it.
Now-
I will go back. I'm just
Call it now.
Astrobot right now.
I was just about to
Astrobot
say,
is just
I
taking
remember
over my life right now.
I remember Fulia specifically saying, after Astrobot is done, she will go back to it. She said that a couple times.
She did. She did. I don't believe it.
We'll find out. I mean, we'll find out probably by next week, because I'm assuming, Fulia, you'll finish Astrobot probably by next week, so.
I hope
She
so.
might. Yes. Come on, have faith. Have faith in yourself. You got this.
I don't know that I'll
All right.
platinum it, but I'll hopefully have finished it.
Yeah, hopefully. Cool. Well, anyways, moving on. It's my turn, folks. and I haven't been on the show
Yes,
since August. So this is going to take a while. So actually, that's not true. Because honestly, like, I've been in a weird state where I just haven't been playing a lot. When I come home from work, I'm just usually very tired, and I just, want to do something very passive and not play a lot of games. So I've mostly been playing games on the weekend, but then most weekends I've been away doing stuff. So it's just like, I just haven't had a lot of time for games. But there were some games I finished. For number one, I finished World of Warcraft: The War Within, which I talked about, pre my little break from the podcast. But I talked about that in a ton of detail on RPG Cave already. So go back and listen to the Tales of Tier List episode that I did a couple weeks ago if you want to hear my full thoughts on that, because I know, again, we got a big show tonight, so I kind of want to leave it at that. I have a copy of Astrobot because I got my little Astrobot, pre-order bonus in the mail here. But it just came today, so I haven't had a chance to play it. I even, of course, got the controller with it as well. So
Yes.
haven't
Let's
pulled
go.
it out of the box. So there's that. And likewise, I played and started and finished Visions of Mana since the last time I was on the show. Again, I've basically been doing weekly updates for that on RPG Cave. So go listen to that for my full thoughts on Visions of Mana. It's a good game that I think people should wait for sale to play. But I think it's a really good action RPG. The story is very forgettable and not great. Next up, I started playing a game on Xbox that I got to play ahead of time because, of course, I got my little buddy here. I've got my little Nyx, my stuff, my Nyx plushie.
So cute.
Because I got to go visit Ubisoft, Ubisoft Toronto, to go play Star Wars Outlaws early. I got to, of course, meet the voice actress for Kevesi, the main character, as well as a bunch of other characters from the game. I got to ride the mocap speeder bike, and it was just a really cool experience overall. Just getting a chance to spend the day at Ubisoft Toronto and seeing the game. Unfortunately, though, I started the game. I'm about 5 hours into Star Wars Outlaws, and I am shelving this one for now.
Ooh, okay.
Because this game, it's fine, it's fun, but I'm just not really feeling it at the moment. And it's one of those things where it's not like a committed relationship game or anything for me. Like I wanted to play it, I was excited to play it, but I'm just personally not feeling it. And maybe it's just the time that I'm playing it now, where maybe I'm not really in the mood for it. I think that's it more than anything, because the game I'm actually addicted to at the moment is actually an old game from the Nintendo DS, but I'm playing it on my PlayStation 5. And that, of course, is I'm playing the Castlevania Dominus Collection. I am playing Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow for the first time with your boy Soma Cruz. And I'm really, really enjoying playing through it for the first time. It's like a Metroidvania Castlevania game, and it's very similar to something like Symphony of the Night, where Soma Cruz has a lot of the similar abilities that Alucard has, and you're kind of gaining new abilities as you go on, because he absorbs the souls of the enemies that you fight, and those souls then allow you to have different abilities for Soma, and then you get a bunch of different weapons and stuff like that. So I'm really, really enjoying that game a lot. Like, I missed out on it on the DS, and it plays really well on PS5, even though there's some touchscreen stuff in the game, because it is an old Nintendo DS game. But you can use the touchpad on the PS5 controller to actually do all the touchscreen stuff, which is really cool. So I love that they added that in there. And of course, I'm also playing the Marvel vs. Capcom collection as well. And I finished all the games in the Marvel vs. Capcom collection. I, of course, played it on stream the other night. Had a tough time beating Onslaught in Marvel vs. Capcom 1. But I beat the Punisher on stream. That game was a lot of fun. That's like a side-scrolling beat-em-up game that they included in the collection. But then I actually went in and systematically beat all the other games in the Marvel vs. Capcom collection as well. So there you go.
Very nice.
There you go. I played a lot of things. So yes, there you go. That's all the things I played this week. But it is now time, folks, for us to shift into topic of the week. By the way, shout out to Fulia for continuing this tradition, even though I was not in the building.
Oh, yes.
I had to.
Yeah, you did. Hey,
was good.
You did great. That's why I feel like I need to give you props, Fulia, for being awesome. So we have an interesting topic this week because the PlayStation 5 Pro was announced this week. I don't know if anyone knew this, you guys. I don't know if this must be brand new information. I mean, no one No one is talking about this in the community at all. No, it's
Exclusive.
So we, of course, could not ignore the PlayStation 5 Pro. We have to talk about it because it's brand new PlayStation hardware. How often do we get new PlayStation hardware? We have to talk about it. And I know everyone's opinions are kind of divided, so I feel like it's going to be nice for us to have like a nice kind of open chat about what we think about it, like what our thoughts are about it. Like, because we saw like a little, quick 9-minute showcase with Mark Cerny where he came in and kind of introduced the hardware itself and talked about how it's really focusing on, enhanced GPU power, giving you enhanced ray tracing. And then they've got like this AI upscaling that will actually work with a lot of the games. Kind of like the PlayStation 4 Pro had this kind of like just passive kind of boosting mode for non-PS4 Pro exclusive games. This is going to do kind of the same thing, but then like AI upscale games that are not really designed with the Pro in mind. And then we saw like some brief snippets of gameplay. Again, we're not going to go into all that stuff here probably, but we more have to talk about the release date and the price, because of course it's coming out November 7th, so it's right around the corner. Basically, as soon as we come back from Extra Life, the PlayStation 5 Pro will be out. But the price, it's $700 US, which is exciting. Matt, how many Canadian dollars again?
And what? 20,000, 30,000?
30,000 Canadian dollars. But actually, it's $959.99 in Canada.
And in Australian dollars, that's $1,199.
There it is.
Yes.
That's including tax, by the way.
Yes.
Fair.
Well, yeah, with us, our price, that's excluding tax. In Ontario, of course, famously, Matt, we pay like 14% tax on everything.
14%. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We're over 1K, friends. Yeah. We're over 1K in Canada.
Yeah. And that's without the disc drive as well. So, yeah.
And the stand.
Well, no one buys the stand anyways. It's fine.
You want the stand? Team horizontal here. Okay.
No. It
It
comes with the horizontal stand. It doesn't come with the vertical stand.
Oh, that's right. Nobody needs that stand. Forget
Nobody
it.
needs
Forget
to do
that.
the vertical.
Put that in the trash.
Because I have a PlayStation 5 Slim, and I didn't buy the vertical stand for it. It just stands just fine without it. So
There we go. That's right.
yeah. So let's go around the room. Let's talk about the PlayStation 5 Pro. What we think about the price? What do we think about the console? Are we excited about it? Ron, starting with you, man. What do you think about this?
It's not for me. I mean, Mark Cerny didn't do anything to make me want to get that. You didn't show me any new games with it. You showed me games that are old. and then you drop the price of $700.
Yeah.
Dog.
Now, I will say, in Mark Cerny's defense, at the PlayStation 4 Pro showcase, that showcase was an hour and a half long, and they only showed old games at that too.
Yeah, I never watched the PS4 Pro one because, once again, I didn't have a point to because I wasn't going to get it. And I only watched the PS5 Pro one because I knew it was going to be on the show. That's it. 9 minutes, and it was pretty much 9 minutes I wish I could have got back. A lot of snazzy stuff for those who want it. All the enthusiasts and the tech heads. I mean, I guess there was a lot there to go crazy over. I don't know about teraflops and GPU stuff and, all the AI upscaling. From what Digital Foundry said, for $700, this is like an okay price for everything it's going to offer.
Yeah,
I could only go for what the pros say. So if they think it's worth it, then excellent. It's not for me whatsoever.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, if you're building like an equivalent PC, you would probably be looking around a similar price margin.
Oh yeah, I see a lot of people getting upset and they're saying that they're going to switch to PC, but it's like if you want a PC to sit there and do everything that you want out of it and do it well, you're looking at a good like $3K. But I'd rather pay $700 than $3K. But
yeah,
everybody doesn't go that route. So people are super upset over this, and they'd rather have a PC instead. Go for it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, this is kind of like uncharted waters because we haven't really had a console that's been this expensive before.
Yeah,
and
PS3 came close.
PS3 did come close. $599 US is a far cry though. From
It is
$699 US though, right? But you're right. Like, especially when you consider inflation as well. Even the inflation between when that price was announced for the PS3 and this, I actually think that, if I'm not mistaken, I think the PS3 price is actually more than this. It just sounds like it's
You're right, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. But what about you, Matt? What do you think about this?
Well, it's like you said, like I don't. If the bar is what the PS3 was coming out as, that's not a good bar to be aiming for,
Right.
right?
Facts.
Look what happened back to PlayStation.
Well, you could also use your PS3,
Uh,
Matt, to print documents because it was like it had printer settings on it.
Oh,
you
yes.
could load
You could also
Linux
send
on
missiles to places. To,
I was gonna say
it can
you
do
could
everything.
program missiles.
yeah, there's cell
like my
processing.
PS5.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my PS5 Pro ain't sending rockets to outer space. Then what am I paying for?
yeah.
Like,
Or
I
folding
don't
at
know.
home. You couldn't do folding at home with your PlayStation 5, you know?
Yeah. Energize the Earth.
How dare
you
they.
know, drown the moon out.
Yeah.
All kinds of stuff it could do.
Yeah.
Come on, Mark. Put the proper stuff into the Pro what gamers really want, for goodness sakes. I don't know. Like, seriously, maybe I'm just old fashioned. Like, I
Did Matt freeze?
Uh-oh, I think he
I
did.
think Matt
I
froze.
think he
He
did.
may have dropped out.
I think we
Yeah.
lost
Mark
Matt.
Cerny
Oh, no,
got
he's
upset.
sad.
Mark Cerny
did
heard you
not
talking
like what I
crap.
was saying. That's right. Listen, Mark and Herman. I'm gonna be honest about my feelings. PlayStation 5 Pro, all right? So
You
Okay.
will not be silenced.
I will not be silenced. No censorship here, okay? I can't tell the difference. I really can't tell the difference. And I was really trying to hard when I watched the side-by-side video, and I really could not tell the difference. And, I've admitted I don't have a 4K TV. I don't know if that makes a big difference. But, like, even when they did the PS4 Pro drop, and they did the side-by-side, and I had to look for it, but I could see a bit of a difference here. I really couldn't. And you know what? It's maybe just really not for me. I am the type of gamer where it's nice to have 60 frames 4K, but I truly don't need it. Like I really don't. Like I'm fine playing my Nintendo Switch games at 540 in handheld at 30 frames because if the game is fun, the game is fun. Like I said, if it looks pretty, it's great. But if it's gonna literally cost me over $1,000, I might have to wait. Like, and I don't know how long I have to wait for, but like that's just. I don't want to say like that's unreasonable because like what Brian and Ron said, like if you want to play PC games, then that's what's going to cost you, and maybe gaming's just becoming too expensive. Then if that really is the entry price, if this is testing the waters for what PS6 is going to cost me, I don't know. Maybe it's just too expensive for me. It's hard to say. And there was a very good there was a conversation in the PlayStation Discord about if Xbox was, really coming hard in this generation and really, catching up to Sony. Would Sony really drop it at this price point? Because I'm assuming, and again, I'm not an expert, I'm assuming the price point they're putting at, maybe it helps them break even or maybe make a little bit of a profit. If Xbox was really catching up close, maybe Sony would have priced it at a loss. But again, they still get, people into the ecosystem. I mean, people are buying 2 PlayStations. It helps, and they're buying more games. Like, who's to say? That's just that price was very scary. Even though I know that's how much it costs, it was daunting for me. And when I looked at what I'm supposed to be getting for it, for me, it's really, really not worth it. And like, I was laughing really hard. But Ron's, you mentioned it, like. You didn't even show new games to really highlight it. So what?
You're not
I'm getting this to play my
any
own
incentive whatsoever to play it. And then, like you said, you brought up a good point. I watched it on my 4K TV. I had my glasses on, and I could barely see the difference. I'm like, I'm not gonna pay $700 for this.
I was gonna say when I watched it again on the 4K version on YouTube, I actually did notice a difference on my TV. Like
I noticed a little bit of difference, but not enough. Not $700 worth.
Especially because I knew to look in the background for stuff or kind of looking at some of the foreground objects, and I was like, oh, like the trees in Spider-Man actually really got me. Like when they compared the performance mode to the mode on PlayStation 5 Pro, I'm like, oh, that's
and
actually
the Last of Us.
big
The Last of Us
difference.
grass. That grass was a lot nicer.
Yeah,
Not $700.
That's what I see. When I saw that, I was thinking like this reminds me of Watergate with Spider-Man on the PS4. When like, oh, the water puddles are gone, and I'm like, who cares if there's water puddles? The game is still good.
But
And I think
Matt,
the water puddles were there in the beginning.
they
I
can
don't know.
bring the puddles
Yes, sir.
back now. They can add the puddles back in post now.
Yes, Matt.
We
For
have the
$700,
processing.
you can get your water puddles back in Spider-Man, baby.
Listen, if I don't have to pay $700, take away the puddles. I don't care. Just let me be Peter Parker and Spider-Man. Like, dude, that's what I thought about. I was looking at the grass and people were commenting. I'm like, seriously, this is what it reminded me of. Like people complaining about the water from Spider-Man. I was like, maybe I'm just old fashioned. I don't know, but Ron makes a really good point. Like, we're not even highlighting. Like, you want me to go back and play my old games to make it look slightly better that I can't even tell? Like,
Yeah.
Fulia, am I in outer space? Am I in a rocket ship here? Is it just
You're not
me?
on a spaceship. You're not on a spaceship.
Let's see what Fulia says.
Look, here's the thing. My gripe with the fact that for us Aussies it's going to cost us $11.99 for this PS5 Pro. And it doesn't come with a stand or the disc drive. Like, if you were to add on the fact that you're going to add on the disc drive, if you've got physical games, that's already an extra 159 Australian dollars.
Assuming you
On
can even find a
top of
disc
the
drive at this point,
$11.99.
by
Yeah,
the
I'm about
way,
to say,
because
good
they've
point,
all
Ryan.
been scalped at this point.
Yeah. And then you also, if you really want your PlayStation to stand vertically, you need that stand. That's an extra $50. That's already going to cost you near to $1,400-1,500 Australian dollars just so you can get this thing. Where the PS5 Slim right now is only $7.99 Australian. And that's with the disc drive. No stand, though. That's the only thing.
Right, but you don't. But as I illustrated earlier, I have the Slim right now, and I don't have the vertical stand.
Yeah.
But it's only ever sat vertical, and it's never come close to falling over.
The thing is, though, when the first PS5 console came out, which is the original one that I have right now, the first gen of the PS5s, that thing came with a stand. Why couldn't they do that with this? Like, it should just come with a stand as a general, like, here it is with the console. You're going to get
that
it anyway.
GPU and that AI upskilling cost a lot of money.
Okay.
And to be fair,
can't throw a stand in.
I think they learned with the Slim that people didn't care that the vertical stand wasn't there. Because if people made a big gripe about that with the Slim, then they probably would have included it with this one. But they didn't. So it's not there.
All right. Well, going into the actual, like, technical aspects of this console, when I was watching it, and I watched the trailer a couple of times, I ended up. I mean, I could see slight differences. I could see slight differences. Especially mostly when I watched it on the actual, because I watched it on my TV. But I have a 1080p TV. I don't have a 4K TV. So there I could kind of see a slight difference when they were doing the comparisons. But I feel that it's not going to be for me, considering the fact that I don't have a 4K TV. I don't know. Maybe in the near future I will, but that's not to say that I'm going to go out of my way to buy a Pro. I'm not the type, I am not the audience for this, because the games that I play don't really require that kind of performance or that kind of quality in images, to be honest. So for me, it's not something that I'm really into. I am for those of you who are interested in getting this, they are going to be the people who are, they're invested in the ecosystem. They've got the income for it to go out of their way to buy it, and they're big fans. So I'm okay with the PlayStation 5 that I have, but if there are people out there who are interested in this, that's, totally cool. Go out and buy that PS5 Pro, because I know you guys will probably get more out of it than what I would personally.
You're doing the right thing. You're going to drop $1,000, and in 4 years, you're going to drop $1,000 again when the PS6 comes out. So don't waste your time.
Yeah.
Well, Fully, I'm glad you're okay with people being excited about this or
Yeah.
wanting to be able to go out and get this, because this panel already knows my thoughts about this. Because even though I didn't go into full details, we talked about it a little bit ahead of time. And to be fair, I've made my intentions known since the very first episode the four of us did together, because we got a question that episode about whether or not we were actually excited about PlayStation 5 Pro or the possibility of it, because that was when the rumors were first starting about this console actually existing. And I famously said, if they do a PS5 Pro, I am all in on it. And that stance has not changed, because even though it's expensive, I am all in on the PlayStation 5 Pro.
Okay.
If I can get one of these things day one, and not from a scalper, from an actual factual store, I am 100% buying this console. And it's mainly for the reasons y'all talked about, where for me, my primary console is PlayStation at this point. I'm very much invested in the PlayStation ecosystem at this point. It's basically where I play all my games. It's also the place where I play the game I play the most, which is Final Fantasy XIV. And there was a PS4 Pro patch for it. And there are some technical hiccups on the current console. So I suspect there's going to be a PS5 Pro patch for it at some point, because they're going to do that. And not only that, but I'm someone who actually owned the PlayStation 4 Pro. And throughout the life of the PlayStation 4 Pro, it really, for me, paid dividends over time as an investment for the type of games that I like to play. Because all the games I was playing as they were coming out, like Resident Evil 2 Remake and whatnot, they were all PS4 Pro enhanced day one. Even a game like Cyberpunk is a famous example of a game that really, it made a big difference, a night and day difference between being able to play that game at all or having it run like it was running at like 20 frames a second and it was all buggy as hell. So for me personally, I see the merit in that, because they didn't have to show me games, like new games for that, because I know in the back of my head, especially with a lot of games being kind of developed with kind of the PlayStation 5 being kind of the lead development console for a lot of developers right now, that this console is going to get lots of support throughout the course of its life. So even though they didn't show me games now that are coming out that have those patches, I know in my heart of hearts that there will be many games that are coming out next year, many games that are coming out in 2026 that are going to take advantage of this console. And I played enough of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on performance mode, and seeing the game that looked like that Vaseline was smudged all over it, because of the fact that I was playing it on a 4K TV that Matt, you might not have noticed because you were on a 1080p TV. But when that performance mode is blown up to a 4K TV, it looks awful. Like, it's so hard to make out a lot of details in the background and whatnot. And that's not the only game that's been like that in the last year or so. So I feel like, for me, because of, I like to play games, the newer games, a lot of open world or, third person games. And I think they're the games that really benefit the most from this. And honestly, I think that's why I'm excited for it. I'm day one. Yes, the price is expensive, and I've been saving for a little while because I knew this was coming. And I'm going to sell my PlayStation 5 to then, make up some of that cost. But all in all, I think it's going to be a worthy upgrade for me for the next couple of years until the PS6 is ready to come out. Because I still think that that's not coming till 2027, 2028 at this point. So we're still looking at a good 3 or 4 years out of this console, which I'm okay with. Like, that's an expense that I'm willing to take on. But the three of you are right. This is not a console for everyone. There's a reason why that even with the PS4 Pro, that was not a console for everyone. Like, there's a reason why that console only sold a couple million, but the PlayStation 4 sold about 100 million consoles, because it was not really developed for everyone in mind. It was very developed for, people that make PlayStation their primary ecosystem and want the games that run the best possible. And that's why I'm excited about it. But I totally understand the argument why $700 is too much money for this, or why someone might not be interested in it, because there's a myriad of reasons for someone not to be interested in it. But for me, and I know Riley King as well, who's also excited about this, because Riley King chimes in, also says he's with me. I think both of us are all in. Like, in fact, I have a replacement, or actually what's interesting is the shell for the PlayStation 5 Pro, like the faceplates on it are exactly the same as the Slim. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the disk drive from my Slim, because it's the same disk drive, put it in my Pro with my fancy blue metallic faceplates on it. And then I'm going to take the faceplates from the PS5 Pro and put them on my Slim and then sell it as like a diskless console. So, I mean, I don't even have to pay for the extra disk drive, and I know I'm not going to have to pay for the stand, because this thing looks like it's going to stand even better than the Slim does without a stand, probably because of the extra weight. So, for me, I'm like the fact that it doesn't go with the stand or the disk drive is okay with me, because I have those things already. So, yes, I'm very excited about it. I know that, again, I'm very much in the minority about this. When I posted on Twitter that I was actually excited about this console. People came out of the woodwork to tell me how wrong I was, or I was a clown, or I was paid off.
See, that's the wild thing that bothers me. At the end of the day, if somebody wants to get the Pro, then let them get the Pro. It is not your money. It does not affect you in any kind of way. Why get mad at somebody because they want to buy something? If it's not out of your wallet, who cares?
I mean, at this point, at this rate, all I have to do basically is sell 2 Sega CD games, and I'm basically almost there with the price at that point. So that's kind of the way I look at it, where I'm like, I would rather have that over like even games that just sit on my shelf and don't get played. Like, I think that like knowing how much it impacted the experience with the PlayStation 4 Pro, like for me, it's just a slam dunk. Like I am so excited about this. So I really hope I can get one this fall. And if I can, you bet your bottom dollar I'll be talking about it. Maybe we'll do some live streams with it. Like I want to cover the crap out of this if I'm able to get one. So look out for that in the future. PlayStation 5 Pro, baby. Let's go. I'm so excited for it. I can't wait. And plus, they already announced the first new game that is going to be Assassin's Creed Shadows, a game that is one of my most anticipated games of the fall anyways, is going to be in a PS5 Pro enhanced game. So I'm like, yes, please.
And that was weird to me because that came like right after, almost pretty much after the event had happened. Yeah. And I was like, why didn't you show Shadows? That would have been the perfect thing to.
I guess Ubisoft, they couldn't get Ubisoft on board for it or something.
Ubisoft and PlayStation are pretty tight, though. You figure even just 2 minutes of time just to show a little bit.
If memory serves, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ron, I think Xbox has the marketing rights for that game.
Do they? Oh, that might explain it then.
I can't remember for sure. Why. So check my knowledge at the door, but I am like fairly certain that game has like the Xbox logo on it.
Okay, that might explain it then, because that boggled the mind. I was just like, why did you not show this on the show when this came like right after? So okay, that makes sense now.
Because Valhalla also had technical problems on the PlayStation 5. So and this of course is kind of another game in that lineage. So I'm like, I really think that that's a game that's going to really take advantage of the Pro, which gets me even more excited to have the Pro kind of side by side with the launch of Shadows, because it comes out the week before that game comes out. So, yeah, I'm excited. But, anyways, let's hear from the community, because the community had a few things to say. We're going to start with Pat Gone Mad. Pat in the chat over here says, I think it is fair to bring criticism upon pricing of how whack it is. It's 800 quid in euro, which is quite baffling when it had been using less euro buying it on the price in dollars of it. Like that's a poor move in my opinion. Also, the fact that this is a premium console for those really invested in consoles and it doesn't come with a disc drive or a stand feels quite gross for the price of the console. And next up, Skycatcher Reflecting says, the PS5, no, I got too many discs. If they give a free digital version, if you own the disc, then maybe. Yeah, they're never going to do that. They're never going to do that. Especially because there are some games that are like Concord, where you can have the disc for it and put it in your PlayStation 5, and it'll run even though you can't actually play it. But they took that game away from you. Like that game doesn't exist digitally, so they'll never do that. And then Croco Kyle, who says, I think the Pro might actually boost base PS5 sales, since people may see it as only $500 and it comes with a disc drive. That said, guarantee the enthusiast will ensure the Pro is going to sell out, at least at release. And I don't even think it's the enthusiasts. I think it's going to be the scalpers are going to ensure that
the scalpers are going to go crazy with that one. But
he
brings up a good point, though. A lot of people who may have been waiting to get PS5, they saw that Pro come out and they were just like, well, I guess the base one it is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because if you weren't in a rush to buy a PS5 this year, because there are now a lot of games that are now exclusive to the PS5 and Series X generation, like they might have actually just waited until the Pro announcement was coming. And now that they see it here, they're like, okay, now it's time to go out and buy just your standard PS4 or PS5. God, my brain doesn't work sometimes. But that's what the carpool community has to say. But one thing I want to do before we kind of get to the last question, do y'all think then this really sets a new precedent for other consoles? Because I personally don't, because this console I think is very much positioned, like we talked about, at enthusiasts. It's not really positioned at the mass market. So I think going to increase the price based on that. But do you guys think that this really sets a precedent? Because I personally don't. I think the next console will be cheaper and more in line with what we see with the PS5 now.
It might depend on the attachment rate for it. Personally, I hope this does not set a precedent, but I don't know, man. I mean, it's like we talked about earlier with Microsoft kind of taking a kneel and just not fighting. Sony's pretty much at the point they can do whatever they want to, and if people go out and they buy the Pro at $700, that might give them the impression of, well, maybe we could do $700 for the PS6. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. I guess we have to wait to see what Switch 2 does, and if Switch 2 goes near that territory, which I doubt it will, but I would be shocked if it's over $400. Yeah. But if they do it, if Nintendo does it, and then we're in trouble if it's over $400.
Yeah, I think that's really going to be the sign, because even though Sony says like they're not really in direct competition with Nintendo, they really are. Mm-hmm. Like they can't be like triple the price of the Switch 2. Yeah, right. Like just can't.
So Switch, I think hopefully Nintendo will kind of set the trend for the next go round. But like I said, man, it's hard to say. Like I said, if they come out over $400, then we're in trouble.
I still think that's different. Like Nintendo, I mean, I don't know what Switch 2 is going to be, but if it's still going to be a handheld device that doesn't, like, everybody knows I love my Switch, but it's not the power of the PlayStation. Like, it doesn't even come close. Like, I don't think that Nintendo's Nintendo, but even they're not that odd. Like, they wouldn't have the audacity to come close to like PS5 Pro price. I think they're gonna still price it high for making a profit, but nowhere near that, because you can't possibly justify. Like, come on, like the Switch handheld is at $720 at best. Like they're not going to be pricing it that high. And I mean, when we're looking back at history repeats itself, but unfortunately we're not in the same situation. Like PS3 came out with that ridiculous price. Eventually they came down, right, with the Slim,
well, but
because they had to.
Yeah, Microsoft was putting their foot in it, but
yeah. Exactly. And now we know like Microsoft is not after the console market. They're going for a very different strategy. I hope it works. I want to see if it does, but they're not going after the console market. Like even I don't think they're going to be going after the same price point. At least I don't think so. And Sony's being Sony. Like they're top dog. And if nobody's going to stop them, then why would they ever go back down? It doesn't make any sense. And if enough people buy the PS5 Pro at this price, like we can complain all we want, but money talks. And if sales show that yes, people are willing to pay for it, and Xbox isn't coming close, and Nintendo's Nintendoing, why would they ever go back down? It doesn't make any sense. I think this is the next price point, unless it crash and burns like horrifically, which I find very unlikely. Yeah. I think this is the new bar, and Nintendo's in its own section that doesn't they're competitors, but not in the direct sense. And Xbox is doing something different, so PlayStation's going to do its thing. That's how I see it.
Yeah. Fulia, what do you think?
Honestly, no matter what I say, it doesn't really matter. So
okay, I was just
Fulia.
It matters.
Well, la-di-da, Fulia.
Herman's listening to you. Gosh.
Yeah.
Look, Ron's got him on speakerphone right now.
Herman dropped my call. We had a conversation, and Herman didn't like some things I said about the PS5 Pro presentation. So he's not talking to me right now.
I thought it was because Matt was trying to talk, but then it was silenced by Herman.
And Mark Cerny. It's okay.
Cool. But let's move on then, because we got a lot of questions from the community tonight. So let's get into this. We're going to start with CowboyDangerD. He's got a bit of a reader, so strap in, folks. CowboyDangerD asks, so speaking of the PlayStation 5 Pro, was the quote-unquote technical presentation disappointing? Yes. Would have loved to see game devs explain the pros with developing with the upgraded hardware, and also show off some of the games that may run sluggish now but better on the Pro. Also, not being able to promise 4K 60 frames 100% of the time. With that being said, to play devil's advocate, people really should calm down. The console and the price is for a niche audience. The person who has the latest and greatest, kind of like the new iPhones. Remember, folks, you don't have to buy the console, in, of course, all caps here. Also, with this economy, do not expect any price drops on the base model. I think those days are behind us. So, general question for today's show. I just rolled credits on A Plague Tale Requiem, and it is honestly one of the greatest games I've ever played in my entire life. The story had moments of incredible heartfelt, amazingly heartwarming to devastatingly heart-shattering. My question is that, what is a video game story that sticks with you and will always still be with you? Can be a funny, upbeat story, a sad or middle-of-the-road kind of story. As always, much love. Of course, Kevin Ainsworth, probably big fan of the response as well, because Kevin Ainsworth also
Kevin was excited.
Plague Tale Requiem. To give you all some time to think, honestly, the story that will always stick with me from a video game is Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, because it's such a really well-written Star Wars story, but where they go with the story, they go some places with Star Wars Knights of the Republic, which I will not spoil for those that have never played it. But that's a story that, I loved, the choice aspect of the story as well, and getting to see both the light side and the dark side of it, and kind of seeing like how the story sort of twists and turns from there, because they go in very different directions towards the end of the game. And I just love that about the story in that game. And that's one that will always stick with me, is just, thinking about very specific moments in that game that they just burned into my memory forever. So Star Wars Knights of the Republic, it's one of the reasons why it's one of my favorite games of all time. I love Star Wars Knights of the Republic. So had to throw that in there.
Nice choice.
And of course, go into the chat real quick. Seth Sturgill says, Arzette the Jewel Faramore. That's a good story too, Seth. It's a good one. And then Star Athena says Spiritfarer, which we know Fully has talked about before. And really like the story there. But what about y'all? What do you think about this question?
I can't remember the exact. She's got something. She's cooking something. I don't remember the exact line, but there is this very beautiful moment in Miles Morales when, now I feel bad for mentioning it because I don't really remember the exact details, but he was really doubting himself. And Genki just says this. I think he says like, "But you're Spider-Man." It's something like that. Yeah. And I just loved that dialogue. It was just such a beautiful thing, not just from friends being friends, but just like Miles should believe in himself, and he does not give himself enough credit. And he's done so much, and he just has such a beautiful arc. So I just love that bro moment between the two of them, because it got to me when Genki said that. And eventually it does get to Miles, and he kind of steps into those shoes. And I've said it before many times, like I prefer Miles Morales over the original Spider-Man game, but just because it was amazing just to watch him grow into becoming not just Spider-Man, but his own hero, like a different version. It's not like he's in the shadows of Peter Parker. Like he is Miles Morales Spider-Man, and like he's my favorite of the two of them. So shout out to Genki. Like that was a really beautiful moment. Like just killer writing from Insomniac. That was a very heartwarming moment.
Wait until you play Spider-Man 2, Matt. Miles is that.
Oh yeah,
Miles is that.
I get the feels, eh?
Yeah, Matt is that guy.
I can't wait.
You're gonna see.
Listen.
It's a lot of stories, man. But Walking Dead season 1 is always going to probably be something I'm always going to remember. That ending. It was good all through that whole season, but that ending, man, the impact of it was just, that was an ending for you. So
there are also kind of like a couple really like big moments too in that season.
Yeah,
as
that
well.
whole
Not
season,
just the ending as well.
Yeah, that whole season has a whole bunch of stuff going on. It just wrapped up right at that end. That just kind of I'm never going to forget that. That set a very high bar to that series has never just been able to top. Season 1 was just, God, that was just really outstanding.
Yeah. Fulia, how about you?
It's hard for me because I tend to play a lot of games, and the way that my brain works, so half the time they don't really stick. Not that because I don't like them or anything like that. It's just once I've played them after a while, and I've played all these other games, my brain sort of has a memory wipe.
Okay.
For whatever reason. But I think Life is Strange True Colors is a good one for this one, because the main protagonist is essentially being empathetic to everyone around her. And the fact that her power is to take away some of those feelings because of her empath ability, and it just sort of gives you the message of you can be as empathetic as you want, but you can't take away how everybody's feeling about certain things, you know? And that's something that I will always remember, that because I'm also a very empathetic person, and that game did remind me that, you know, just be there for the people around you.
Aw.
Yeah.
That's such a good message.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, that story is really great too. And all the Life is Strange games, I think, have really good stories as well. On top of that, like I love the first one still, because that story is also kind of burned in my brain, especially again specific moments from it as well. So
Yeah.
Can't wait for Double Exposure in a month. Fulia. We're only a month away from the newest Life is Strange game.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's right.
I mean, it keeps getting buried under, people talk about Metaphor ReFantasio at this point, but or Silent Hill or any number.
The Life is
Call of
Strange
Duty.
fans will show up for it.
I mean, I'll be there, 100%.
Yeah, I'll get it.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we got Quaggy, who says, "It is I, the Quaggy, king of the Xenobabes, and also the king of the Falcon Empire. Caw-caw!" I mean, he didn't write that, but I felt like adding that in there because it's true. I was surprised to see all the PlayStation 4 Pro games were first-party Sony games. I think Sony would want to reach out to big live service games like Fortnite, Apex, etc. to ensure there is better performance and fidelity for players looking to get the upper hand in competitive gaming. Were you surprised at all? Do you see third-party support coming from the Pro? So first off, I'm going to do a little bit of a correction for you, Quaggy. There were some third-party games that are supported by the Pro, not only in the presentation, but then the press release later. We already talked about Assassin's Creed Shadows being one of them. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is getting a patch for it. That's not first-party. Hogwarts Legacy is getting a patch. And then they also showed Dragon's Dogma, which, by the way, Dragon's Dogma 2 is only a 30 frames per second game currently, but it's going to be 60 frames per second on the Pro for the first time for any console. So
Alan Wake 2 is also on that list.
Yep, and Control as well. So yeah, there were actually a lot of third-party games, but I also expected kind of what we kind of saw anyways going into this, because again, when I compare it to the PlayStation 4 Pro's launch, it was a very similar kind of list. Like you had some older third-party games, like Rise of the Tomb Raider, for example, was a game that they showed off a lot with it. But it was a lot of Sony first-party games at the time. Horizon Zero Dawn, Uncharted 4, like those were kind of the type of games that they showed off, because that was just it always usually starts with a lot of first-party support first, and then the third parties, you get more and more of those announcements as the weeks and months go on. So I was not surprised by that at all. But I actually think, like, as far as live service games go, I think there will be a Fortnite or Apex patches, and for other live service games as well, at some point down the road. Final Fantasy 14 is a perfect example of that. They did a PS4 Pro patch for that game, and I am not at all surprised that they'll probably do a PlayStation 5 Pro patch for that game.
I'm pretty sure it'll come. I forgot First Descendant was on that list also.
Yeah,
that's
a live service game as well. Yeah. So I think more of those announcements will come. They just may be farther down. Like we might not see Fortnite or Apex or some of these other games you mentioned, Quaggy, until next year. But I think that support will come. If history tells it, especially because we know like that console is probably going to sell out, even just with scalpers.
Yeah, it'll show up.
So yeah, the people will be there. People will have these consoles and be playing with them. But next up, Final Fantasy VIII is life. Final Fantasy VIII is love. Says, with the PS5 Pro being so expensive, do you think Sony should offer some sort of trade-up program to move units? Because right now we've got the GameStop program to trade up, but should Sony offer something like that? What do you now? This is a question specifically I want to ask Ron specifically, because Ron, you live in the United States where PlayStation Direct is a thing, and we don't have PlayStation Direct in any other region except the United States. So is that something you wish that PlayStation Direct would do? Because that's the revenue they do that with. Yeah,
it would be nice to have the option. That's always a good thing, because I'm pretty sure if they did offer that, there would be several people that would be willing to take them up on that. But I don't know, man. Sony's just doing a lot of weird stuff lately, and I can't see them doing it. It's just It would be nice, but I can't see it happening.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's what I was going to say. Because, like, the reason why I think this mostly applies to you, Ron, is because for us, like Fulia, Matt, and I, like, since we live outside the United States, we don't have PS Direct, and that's probably the only way that this works The only way that Sony would be able to offer like a trade up system would be through them directly, and they don't really sell to us. They choose not to. So, yeah. Also, we found out too, by the way, that the console is going to be like a pre-order exclusive through PlayStation Direct in the territories that PlayStation Direct is in. So it's like you for the first like 2 months or something, it's on the market. You'll only be able to get it through PlayStation Direct, which is interesting.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Wait, you can't order through GameStop, Amazon, Best Buy?
that.
Yes, as far as I'm aware of, and I could be wrong.
Sorry to cut in, but if you're talking,
but again, this is United States only.
Yeah. Okay. Because third party retailers will definitely be doing sales for them, and definitely you'll get like your EB Games and your GameStops doing like the swap sort of trade up system.
Small correction. This was updated on the PlayStation blog. October 10th will be when pre-orders will be available for other retailers besides PlayStation Direct. Okay. So it's actually only 2 weeks, not 2 months. That's my bad, my mistake.
Okay. Yeah. No, they'll definitely have trade up system, like trade up bundles and savings and stuff. If you really wanted to grab the PS5 Pro. I know that they've also decided to bring out refurbished PlayStations.
Yep. As
well, PlayStation 5s. So, but the thing that I don't like about the way that they've packaged these refurbished PlayStations is essentially the box is exactly the same as a brand new one. The only difference is on the top blue lining at the top of the box is going to say refurbished. That's
No,
it's
not
only
That's how they fool you, man. That's how they fool you. You think you're getting a deal and you get a refurb.
Also, but you know what's gonna make
How am I
it
supposed to
worse?
display the box?
It's
gonna be worse for the retailers selling it because we're gonna get confused as which one we're picking up.
Yep. Unless you look for that little blue bar.
Yeah.
Like there's a reason why when GameStop sells you a used console, they don't sell it to you in the box. They sell it in like a GameStop specific box.
Yeah. I think EB Games does the same thing.
Yeah.
This is just listen. If Sony's not going to take our trade-ins, let's just donate our blood, trade in our kidney and liver, and then we can afford the PS5 Pro.
No,
done.
You don't need to do that, Matt.
There.
You don't need
Matt is
to.
right. Black market always has deals. Okay.
There's a more
right.
simple method, and it's the method that Kaz Harai suggested we do. We just get a second job.
Get a second job.
That's right. Sorry.
It was Kuragi. Kuragi said that. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I just
crazy
won't
kid.
sleep. Don't even see my kids. I'll just work 2 jobs.
God,
No problem.
the PS3 was such a wild time.
Yeah. Kim was a wild dude.
They had an expensive console. The controller itself looked like a boomerang. It was a wild time to be a PlayStation fan. But anyways, next question comes to us from Kiku, who says, I've not even had my PlayStation 5 for 2 years yet, so I have no interest in getting the Pro. For my question, have you ever done anything strange to acquire a console or game, or have you always just bought them? I previously mentioned trading a Snake for a Game Boy, but I also charged my siblings and their friends $2 an hour to play anything that I had in my house, which then went to me buying more games. So did anyone have any hustles?
Hustler.
Any hustles for consoles? Because for me, no. Other than trading my games at GameStop as an example, or selling games on eBay or on Kijiji or something like that, like that's it. I've never really done anything weird or crazy. No.
Yeah, I don't think I have either.
Very, very boring.
God, we're so normal, you guys.
Yeah.
We're so
boring.
well,
there was that nefarious way I got the Nintendo 64, but we're not going to talk about that here.
Oh, jeez.
That was a good story.
That story, go listen to the real podcast on the Patreon.
That was a good story. Oh, yeah.
Also, Yarden chimes in and says, actually, guys, 3 jobs now because of inflation.
Yeah, and Yarden's not lying.
Yeah.
No problem.
And
Just
apparently,
to play video games.
According to Seth, I said a Star Wars planet. I don't believe this.
No.
Next up, we got Topic, who says, for the specs of the PlayStation 5 Pro, do y'all think they're asking a reasonable price for it, not including the disk drive or stand? And is anyone looking forward to it? I think I'm the only one in the Discord that is. And do talk think it'll sell out like the PlayStation 5 did at launch. I mean, we talked about that a little bit where Toxic, it's you, it's me, it's Riley King. We're the three people that are excited for the PlayStation 5 Pro. And that's okay. I'm okay with that.
It's all right.
Yeah. And I think the
it's
specs, I think they're asking a reasonable price for what you're getting. So moving on, we got the Captain. Couple of questions. First question is for Fulia. With all the different characters popping up in Astrobot, have any of them intrigued you to check out other full games based off their Astrobot counterpart?
So the characters that I've come across that I have played have been, I've played the first Uncharted game and I've come across those characters. But I'm keen to check out some of the other ones of the Uncharted games. So I do still have the rest of the Nathan Drake trilogy to get through. I do also want to finish off God of War. That is going to happen. Relax, Max. It'll happen. And but I think the ones that kind of piqued my interest a little bit potentially might be Jak and Daxter, because I've never played a Jak and Daxter game, and a lot of people have said that I might actually like it. I might enjoy that one. Mm-hmm. The other one that I came across was Sly Cooper. Now I looked into it, but apparently in Sly Cooper, because you're a thief, there's a lot of stealth involved. I'm not very good at stealth.
That stealth is light, though. That's light stealth.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, we're not talking about Splinter Cell here.
No, especially because like those games are on the PlayStation 2, and like the stealth is very forgiving. It's not something like Star Wars Outlaws, where some of the stealth levels in that game, it wanted me to tear my hair out playing Star Wars Outlaws.
But
yeah, you could get away with that one.
There is one that I really want to check out, and I'm pretty sure I can buy it on my PS3 PlayStation Store.
Okay.
And that's Loco Roco.
Okay.
Because it looks so cute and very colorful, and the level that you play for that game where you're just this giant blob just rolling around, and you're just using the controller as gyro to move you're moving the level around compared to actually just moving the character, which is
you can buy it on PS5.
That's what I was about to say. Did you know they did a
Is
remaster of Loco Roco? And if you have PlayStation Plus Premium, which I know you don't have, it's included with it.
Oh, but well, I won't mind buying it if it's reasonably priced.
It's $20 Canadian. So
That's reasonable.
That means $90 in Australian.
of course.
No, actually, Loco Roco Remastered is $22.95 Australian.
Okay.
The first one. And there's a second one, too.
Yeah. But to be fair, you wouldn't be able to play it on the PlayStation 3 because that game is a PSP game. So,
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Then why is it on the PlayStation Store?
I'm
just how they
glad you
roll.
asked, because the PlayStation 3 store also allowed you to buy PSP games because it allowed you to actually put the games on your PSP when you'd hook it up to your PlayStation 3, or they were playable on the PlayStation Vita.
Okay. Interesting. I own none of those.
Yes. So if you would have bought it from the store, I'm glad we had this talk, because you would
Thank
have
you.
basically paid $20 for nothing.
For nothing.
Yeah.
Or I would have had to go out of my way to buy a pre-owned console. And
You
I'd be
just got
like,
it from Matt. Matt has like 6 PSPs.
I have
what's
2
extra
PS3s.
life?
I could lend you one.
I was going to
Lend
say,
you
I could lend
I
you
don't
my
mind.
God of War one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm actually really interested in checking out Loco Roco after playing through that level on Astrobot. So yeah, that might be the one that I might jump into.
Yes, another game to stop her from going credits on God
Look,
of War.
no. I'm not going to end up buying it immediately and playing it immediately, all right? Relax. I will go back to God of War. That will be finished.
I'm so glad that Seth also knows about the PSP Go, because most people forget the PSP Go.
Yeah, people do forget about that one.
I
It was-
never had any of the PlayStation handhelds at all.
I didn't either. It's all right. I was part of the problem, Koala.
Y'all were missing out, man. That both of them were very solid, but
My
the
parents
PSP
just
and the
wouldn't
Vita.
get them.
Yeah. Well, then, also Jak and Daxter, I think you actually would enjoy for you. I think,
Yeah.
especially the first one in particular. I think you'd really
Okay.
enjoy that game. But then, follow-up question for everyone: if you were given a PlayStation 5 Pro today, what would be the first game you would want to play with the new enhancement that they announced? So, if we went by the list, I guess that's on there. If we all were just given the console, we didn't have to pay for it. The first one that I actually would probably play on it would surprise y'all. It's Stellar Blade, because I forgot to mention that Stellar Blade is a third-party game that also has enhancements on it, and I haven't played that game yet, and I want to play that game this year before Game of the Year talk, and this would be the perfect time to do that. In fact, I kind of want to wait until the Pro comes out before I play that game. So Stellar Blade would be my choice. But do any of y'all have picks for this?
Do we have to stick to the list that they showed?
I mean, I'm just going by the question, but you guys go off record.
Ghost 2. That's my only answer.
Wish list. There you go. Damn.
Yeah, Ghost 2. Come on, the first director's cut was beautiful. I can only imagine. Yeah, Ghost 2 would be great. But that's not coming out to PlayStation 6. So,
Ron, I feel like Ghost of Tsushima would probably be Seth Sturgill's pick if he was here. Just playing it on the Pro.
I don't know about that.
Maybe.
I'm not falling for that one.
I'm sure by the time Seth checks by the time the stream catches up, I'm sure Seth will let us know.
Seth, I can confirm.
Yeah,
There he is.
Can confirm.
He's in the chat. Can confirm. See?
No.
There it is.
Yep.
Yep.
Not happening.
That'd be his choice. Ghost of Tsushima. All right. Fulia or Matt, do you all have a pick for this?
I don't have anything from the list. It'll be like a wish list of like, Nier Automata. Maybe there'll be some sort of enhancement, even though that's a PS4 game. But
Matt,
I don't
I'm surprised
know.
you didn't go for Resident Evil 8. What?
I don't know. Just wish list that it would be something like, something comforting like Nier Automata. I don't know. I have a better answer.
Again.
I have a better answer. I'm not playing Rebirth again. That thing has scarred me. I'm not going back for a very long time. Stop it, please. Yeah. No, you know what? Most people here do know that I'm not buying any games in 2024, and I'm not. And 2025 is around the corner, and some people in the community have been asking, what's the first thing I'm going to buy? And the answer is
Death Stranding 2.
I don't know yet. Because 2024 Death Stranding 2 I'm hyped for that one. No.
I know.
It really depends. Like this 2024 has taught me a lot of things, which is I can wait. So even when 2025 comes around, there's a lot of games I have not purchased in 2024 and 2023, but I will still wait. So it really depends on which games from those years that go on sale first. And it has to be like a big sale. So I'd be very excited if God of War Ragnarok went half price, because it has gone half price a few times, or even Spider-Man 2 has a bit of a price drop. I can buy them right away because I've cleared my backlog quite a bit, so I'm ready to jump right in. So it really, really depends. That's my answer. I don't know what I'm buying in 2025 as of yet. It's either going to be something that's super hyped, like, I don't know, Ghost of Tsushima 2, if that drops out like ASAP, or
Starfield.
If something
you
on
know you want it.
Which one?
Starfield. You know it's coming. You know it's coming next
Oh
year.
my god. Yes, if Starfield,
Yeah,
oh yeah,
you know it's happening.
comes on PS5, buying it. Let's go. 100% full price. Ready to do
Marcus
it.
O'Neill's listening. He's clapping his hands.
You're welcome, Marcus O'Neill. I will finally play Starfield. Not on the Xbox because I don't have it anymore. It'll be on my PS5 where I can get my trophies.
Yeah, I'll play it too.
Everything's
I'll play
right in
it
the
too.
world.
Yeah.
As for me, if let's just say I had the perfect setup to use this PS5 Pro, I had a 4K TV and all that jazz, I would love to see. I'd love to see Final Fantasy 16 get this treatment.
Let's
honestly.
go.
Look
It'd
at
be
that.
really cool.
Somebody
Like,
wants
just-
Clive in extra
no.
detail.
Not for the characters. Not for the characters. Just for the settings. Because in the game, the actual, just the landscapes and the views that you get in that game are absolutely beautiful. And I feel like if it gets that treatment to be, 4K and just like the resolution is a more clearer, more crisp, I feel like those shots would be so much nicer. I would definitely.
The grass.
Yeah.
For the grass.
Yeah.
For the grass.
Don't you come at
Obviously.
me,
For the
Ron.
grass, for the grass, all right.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
sure.
The
Obviously.
pectorals. The pectorals and the buttocks.
No.
What kind of grass is that? Never heard of this. Shreds? Just crabgrass. I've never heard of that
For
one.
the chiseled face. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay.
Believe what you want, Ron.
It's like what Seth says. For the chickens and for the grass, all right? Yeah. And for the
yeah.
articles, Star Athena. Thank you. Yeah.
Grimdark.
Obviously.
I want it.
We know what's up.
I want it for the spectacular views, not the characters. Thank you very much.
Hey, as long as you do it respectfully, it's all good.
Of course.
Exactly.
Of course.
Yeah, I know someone. I was searching for it desperately in the chat because I remember someone also mentioning Final Fantasy 16 earlier as well. So shout out to that person as well. So I couldn't find it because that was a while ago. But yes, Final Fantasy 16 will look really good, and that's one in particular with 4K as well. Like if you're playing it on quality mode, it's also one that's very blurry in 4K, blown up. If you're playing in performance mode, so I think that's one that actually would look really good with the.
I'm glad I don't play in performance mode because with all these things that look bad. Jeez.
Yeah. Well, next question comes to us from Black Wyver, who says, "Good day, Fab4. Glad to see/hear the band is back together. Question for the show. With everyone being a little excited, for lack of a better word, over the pricing of the PlayStation 5 Pro, when do you think we'll see the next jump in pricing of new games? And by how much? Do you reckon it'll occur with GTA 6 with the increase of $10 US or more?" Look at that, guys. We're in the realm of game increases now.
I keep seeing this rumor popping up on Twitter and everywhere else about GTA 6 going to raise the price. I can't see it. They just raised the price, so I don't think that's happening no time soon. But even if they get brave and try to do it for the next gen, I'm not buying an $80 game. I will do like I'm doing now. I have a backlog of games. I will wait for it to go on a decent sale, and if I think that price is fair for the game that's having it, I'll buy it. So they can price it at $80 if they want to. I'm not buying it.
Yeah. I mean, Matt, what's interesting is that you and I both live in Canada, and you've probably seen this as well. Certain games already are getting a $5 bump already. Like we had that, like Dead Island 2 was a really good example of that. Like that game was 95 Canadian dollars when normally the price of a $70 game run in Canada is $89.99. And there's a bunch of games that are kind of at that price point, where they kind of like are being like, well, actually, the Canadian conversion's too good in quotations, so we need to bump it up by $5. So, Matt, you and I already live in that reality where they've already raised the price from 70 US dollars to now 95 Canadian dollars. When are we going to get baseline $100 Canadian games at some point, Matt? Because I think it's soon. It's soon. It's coming up against, and it's been sporadic. Like I remember, 8-10 years ago it was 59, then it became 69, then it became 79, and now we're here at 89. It just keeps going up like at random spots, and it doesn't go back down. So Ryan's right.
Nintendo 64 cartridges all over again. Oh Lord.
No, seriously, it really is. It's just like that. What? It could just be in March 2025. Oh, it's 95 or 99.99. That's it. Too bad, Canada.
Yep.
It's like, okay.
Well, are you
Thanks.
lucky? La-dee-da.
Oh.
What? What's happening in Australia?
Are you trying to tell me, Fulia, that games are over $100 in Australia?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And I'll even show you for proof. Here you go. It's $109 here in Australia, Australian dollars, to get your Spider-Man 2s, your Elden Rings, your GTs, even the Stellar Blade, $109.
Hey, respectfully, she's worth $109, so that's the right price.
Rise of the Ronin, like honestly, God of War Ragnarok, $109. These were $10 less the last time I checked.
Ragnarok is worth $109.
Is it though?
It is. Jedi Survivor is only worth $9. That is way overpriced.
What about the PS4 version of Jedi Survivor, Ron?
Huh?
What about the PS4 version of Jedi Survivor that just came out?
That's just $2.
Wow.
That's just $2.
Like even look, Last of Us Part 1 remastered on the PS5.
That's not surprising.
109.
That's not surprising.
109. It's insane. Like it's just
all over the
crazy.
place.
It is a shame that Undisputed is $119 and that
gone
game is not going to sell. That's wild.
Yeah, I hate that there's like a full $10 increase compared to when I first started working at my store. They were like $89 was the highest price. Now it's $100. It's gone up by $20 in the last 4 years. It's crazy.
So here we go, guys. Next gen, $800 consoles, $90 games. Prepare yourselves.
I'm out.
But also
finding a new hobby, everybody. Forget it.
Or no, it's
Go
just I think
fishing
Just
and
wait for it to go on
exercising.
sale, Matt.
I think
Yeah.
just game developers just need to find like more of a balance in price, like finding that,
Yeah.
because we even see that here in Canada, Matt, because like there are still a lot of third-party games that are still $79.99, and that's okay. Like I think that they're like a lot of developers are actually okay with the price being that, so because they offer like special editions and stuff that then bring the price over $100 if you want to go down that road.
It's true. It's
Yeah.
true.
But pretty soon, Matt, $100, $99.99. I'm waiting for the first one to drop at some point. It's gonna happen. It's gonna be
It's
Dead
coming.
Island 3
It
or
is coming.
something stupid like that. Of course, to just
Sure.
break everything. Yeah. Oh, Kiku, of course, chimes in with the best answer. Of course, just get a second job and you'll be fine.
She's right. Just get a second job and they'll solve all the
That's
problems.
Look, if Pepsi Man
Easy
costs
peasy.
over $100 to buy on eBay, then modern games should be over $100, right? That's the rule.
That should not be the benchmark.
Yeah, that game
for
should only be
cost of
39
video
cents.
games.
39
Pepsi Man.
cents is the most that game should cost.
Pepsi Man sets the benchmark, okay? That's how this works. But final question of the week. I can't believe we got through all these either, by the way. Comes to us from Antics, who says, greeting all you fabulous folk. Now it has been some time since the Pro was revealed and discussions around its value has been more than a little heated. What do you feel they could have shown instead during the 9-minute presentation besides brand new games that could have made a $700 plus optional upgrade more justifiable or appealing? It feels like we're long past the point of diminishing returns if 75% of players opt for performance over higher quality graphics. Well, that's the thing. The PlayStation 5 Pro wants to remove that choice, though, so you don't have to make that choice. You can just pick one mode that gives you the performance and the fidelity. So that's what they're going for with that console. But I don't know, Antics, to be honest, you've taken out the idea of new games. And I really think that's really all they could have shown to maybe change people's
It could have been the only thing
opinions.
that could have justified it.
Yeah. Like, what else are they going to do? Show off the box of the console itself with, like, a teardown or something? Like, that's not going to get people more excited about that. Like, the proof is in the pudding, where people were looking for what the differences are between the two consoles, and that's the reason for upgrading, because we know it's for, visual flair, whether it's the fidelity of the picture itself or the performance of it, right? And seeing the differences between the two consoles. So I think they did as good of a job as they could have with it without showing a brand new game that's coming out soon.
Yeah, I gotta agree with that. The only way you could have justified that is, having a state of play and showing a whole bunch of brand new games, and then PS5 Pro.
Which-
Here's $700. Bam.
We keep hearing, Ron, before Tokyo Game Show, there's
I hear about
sounds like there might be something that coming, essentially.
I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna tell everybody right now. Set your expectations very low. State of play is gonna be cheeks. Don't get yourselves excited. If you're not seeing
Wow.
anything, it's true. Everybody's getting all super excited. All the first party games for 2025 are gonna drop. It ain't happening.
No,
it's over.
They're not.
Yeah.
No, but I do think that what you will see at that is third and first party games
Yeah.
utilizing the PlayStation 5 Pro.
Yeah.
Because again, like, the timing makes perfect sense, because not only do they want to announce new games for Tokyo Game Show, because they are actually have floor space at the Tokyo Game Show for the first time in like 10 years this year. So there's obviously going to be games that they're going to announce before Tokyo Game Show or even at Tokyo Game Show that appeal to the Japanese audience to try and get them on board with this. Even though people in Japan are
I'm about to
firmly
say Japan does not care
rejecting.
about.
They're firmly rejecting this console because the PlayStation 5 is already too expensive for them at this point. But then they want to also show off more games to take advantage of the Pro. So I think that's where, like, you're right, Ron. They're not going to show off the next 10 years of PlayStation. And that's fine, because what I think they are going to show is, like, the games that are coming out probably in the next year that are going to take advantage of this console, whether they're first party or third party.
It's gonna be all third party. Sorry, Sony fans. There are no more first party games going until PlayStation 6. Prepare yourselves. Prepare yourselves.
agree.
That means no Naughty Dog, Ron?
It's
in the
over.
whole console generation?
It's
Naughty
over.
Dog?
This-
No.
Yeah,
Naughty
this
Dog's
will
not
go
going
down
to
as the
PS5.
worst,
We already
the
know
worst
that.
PlayStation generation ever. You will see.
Wow.
Man, Ron,
We're already there. I mean, look at it. I mean, come on.
It's not that
PS5
bad.
Pro coming in at 700.
I mean, we're going to see probably there the biggest reason to own a PlayStation 5 Pro, and that's going to be DS2, y'all. Hashtag DS2. Get Kojima on the stage, the greatest
Let's
game in all
go.
the land. Death Stranding 2 with the rock
So
and roll
hyped.
cowboy.
Oh yeah, Ron is so excited.
Oh, I've already pre-ordered. I
excited for
can't
me.
wait.
Wow, come on. We know that ain't happening, Bron.
Oh, it's true. I have the disc pre-order so I can use it as a coaster when it comes out. Yes.
Just like Concord.
Oh, too soon. Too soon.
Too soon, Ryan. Too soon.
Lachlan felt that.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Well, look, this is just what happens when you invite me back to the show. You know, Kiku says I got kicked off, but y'all were gracious enough to invite me back, and this is just what happened. You know? Yeah. Anyways, that's going to do it for this week's episode of the PlayStation Drive. But before we go, we got to say thank you to all of our patrons over at patreon.com/carpoolgaming, starting with our ultimate producers, Jonathan Brown, the man behind the music on the Xbox Drive, and of course, our podcast, the PlayStation Drive. You can check out all his music over at Purple Monkey Entertainment over at linktree.pme.jib. And of course, the link is always found in the description of our podcast as well. Cwagmire, who humbly reminds you that the best babes are in fact Xenobabes, and TechMike, who says, whether you're a Kevesi or Agnian, you're a Xenobabe at heart. Look, Matt, I don't know the pronunciation of Xenobabe names. So that was the best.
It's okay.
The best I can
Lord
do.
It's okay.
mercy.
It's a Xenobabe.
What the world.
It's literally
Xenobabe.
a different pronunciation on every show that I'm on, by the way. So
It's all good.
shout out
It's
to
okay.
Ultimate.
Nobody's
all of
paying
our-
attention to it, Ryan. It's all good.
Shout out to all of our Ultimate producers, of course, for supporting us the way they do it, and make sure to support them because they're awesome, and you should. Our platinum producers: CowboyDangerD, Peje, Solo, Smokin Joe, the Captain, and Tim Paullin, and our gold members: Adam K, Anna, Awesome Dave 1337, BobLoblaw, Brad Moore, Brian Reese, Cecily Carrozza, Dan and Luma, Dannohh, Drellesh, Emily O'Kelly, Hoppel, Jan32, Kia Savoy, Ligerwood 330, OldMrFrump, Patrice Mallette, Shane Erickson, the Jiggy Collector, and Toxic. Huge thank you once again to all of our patrons over at patreon.com/carpoolgaming. If you want to hop in the car with us, head on over there, choose the tier that's right for you. And now, Ron Plugs go.
Savoy Prime on PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, Backlogged, True Trophies, and PSN profiles. Savoy_Prime on Twitter.
Nice. And Matt?
You will not find me on Xbox because I've got rid of my Xbox, but you can still find me on Twitter and on Discord and on PSN as Nagachaka, so hit me up there. And on Nintendo Switch, I can give you my friend code.
You're just going to make Sean Capri over there cry. Matt, is that really what you want?
Yes,
you're going
Matt,
for?
go for it. Go in for the kill.
You had a discussion with Sean, and Sean made you think you needed to get rid of an
It's
Xbox.
true. It is true.
Seth is right. Don't forget to mention your OF. Just put it out there.
That doesn't exist. We
Canadian
know
gun
that
show.
doesn't exist.
Canadian gun
No.
show.
Anyways, Fulia, where can people find you?
You can find me on YouTube and Twitch, Foolish Fuji. You can also find me on X and Instagram at Foolish Fuji. You can also just jump over to my website, foolishfuji.card.co.
Card.co.
That is card with 2
Card.
R's.
Card.co.
2 R's. 2 R's.
2 R's. And you can get all the links and more over there.
Very nice. As for me, you can find me on the old Twitter, aka X, at Ryan Turver. You also find us on X at Carpool Gaming. It's so much harder to do with this microphone in my face. YouTube.com/Carpool Gaming, Twitch.tv/Carpool Gaming Live, as well as podcast services around the globe. So, for Fulia, Matt, and Ron, I'm Ryan. This is Astrobot, and this has been the PlayStation Drive, episode 167, and we're out. Good night, everybody.
Adios, friends.
See ya.
Bye.
Thanks for checking out this week's episode of the PlayStation Drive. Now, before you drive off, please make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube and follow us at Carpool Gaming on socials. Don't forget to check out our awesome merch on carpoolgaming.com, and you can also support the show on Patreon at patreon.com/carpoolgaming, where you'll unlock all kinds of exclusive content. Links to everything